Okay, so we're going back to a classic here. This is not a build guide, but we have the nodes for the Luminary Ascendancy. We don't have all the information about mercenaries. We don't have all the information about Luminary even, or at least I don't think we do, because in a post from the official Path of Exile Twitter account, they do specifically say that in the future, I mean, I guess they don't, I can just find the actual quote instead of lying to you about what they're saying. In the lead up to Curse of the Allflame release, we'll be sharing more about voyages in the Luminary Ascendancy, which is kind of weird because as far as we can tell, they showed off the entirety of the Luminary Ascendancy. But I'm concerned. I was originally thinking, oh, Mercs. I loved Mercs. Let me try that again. I might want to play the Luminary Ascendancy. But the more I think about it, the more I have like one really big issue with the Ascendancy. And it's the fact that it's an Ascendancy. And the fact that it's an Ascendancy means that if your mercenary dies, you don't have one. You don't have an Ascendancy if your mercenary dies. Now, there are ways to make your mercenary incredibly tanky and unlikely to die, but Ascendancies offer so much power that the fact that there's a chance to perhaps even misread a map mod, and, I mean, to be fair, elemental reflection and physical reflection have not literally been removed, but they're no longer as huge of a concern. But you might misread a map mod and not have your Ascendancy for a map. Now, they did also remove body armors, like you can't equip unique body armors to mercenaries, even if you get, like, your unique equipment. So that's, you know, no Doriani's prototypes, but that's understandable. But I don't think I'm going to be starting this. There's a chance that maybe with like the Aura bot, if you go for like this link stuff, you can get some light radius, you can get some light radius on rares. I don't think the light radius uniques are going to be good, but you can get like a ton of link effect and then just give like absurd fire damage to your mercenary with links. Plus, you can still use Forbidden Flesh and Flame to get, you know, one Scion Ascendancy node, which is, you know, kind of half of Scion of Ascendant's power. Technically 1/3, because as Ascendant you can also use Forbidden Flesh and Flame to get a Scion Ascendancy node. But if your mercenary isn't tanky, which especially if you take Loyal Bodyguard and your mercenary's life is higher than your own, 20% of damage from hits is taken from them, so they might die even faster. They taunt on hit if you take Bestowed Knighthood, so, you know, they get a bunch of curse effects, so they can still help you support. But it just feels, to me, like perhaps they didn't think this one through. Because they said that mercenaries, if they die, cannot respawn in the zone, just like Mercenaries League. Which, in Mercenaries League, outside of Aura bots, if you were playing an Aura bot for your mercenary, that was an extra risk you took on. But outside of the Aura bots, it was like, okay, these were giving me crazy buffs, but they usually weren't enabling my build. With this, they're kind of enabling your build because you don't have an Ascendancy. A lot of other cool stuff, by the way. I think this staff might be something with Abyss Jewels. Obviously, being able to just sell mercenaries to probably mostly luminaries, because you can't, they don't get sold with items, you know, might make that significantly more reasonable to get like a very tanky mercenary. Or like this shows you that there's 2 auras, you know, Wrath and Zealotry. I believe you could get 2 auras in Mercenaries League as well. So, you know, you might just want to end up building them super tanky and as a support for you. And then is that worth the Ascendancy? And that's really what it all comes down to. Is that strong enough to be worth an Ascendancy? Does getting a permanent mercenary with potentially some like helpful uniques, but really only like, you know, 1 or 2 if you want to get the increased effect of auras, is that worth not having any other Ascendancy points and potentially losing all of your power if your mercenary dies? Again, we'll have to see the numbers on them to know. It might end up being that, you know, there are new numbers on mercenaries, and they basically never die. Even though it says that, you know, they... I guess actually, it doesn't. I was going to say it says that they have, like, they're just weaker, but it's just that they deal less damage, so I guess that's something. But it might just be that mercenaries never really die, and having the permanent ones works out great, especially if you end up supporting them. And since you can now buy mercenaries, it'll be way easier to find a mercenary to be a support for, or to support you. But that's it. I'm just a little concerned about the Luminary. It's similar to the concerns I have with the Reliquarian, that yeah, you get like a couple unique item effects, but is it worth using your entire Ascendancy? That's it. I basically, yeah, so I made a 5-minute video, 6-minute video that could have been boiled down to, is it worth losing your entire Ascendancy? Anyway, I'm very excited for the League. I have some fun plans for some builds, plus there's a bunch of new stuff that we just don't know about. 2 new Bloodline Ascendancies. One is from Curse of the Allflame. I'd imagine the other one is from the Abyss Boss, so who knows? It might be that these uniques aren't worth it, but one of those Ascendancies turns out to be crazy for keeping your mercenary alive, and it's not really a concern anymore. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you on League launch. I'll probably keep uploading more videos as they release more teasers and as I more solidify my League start plans as well, but even if I don't, League launch.